Welcome everyone, Farmer Cop here. This is going to be a guide on how to get rid of the plowing state for Farming Simulator 25, and I'll talk about what I mean by that. So if you guys are just joining us, I will say this as well. This is for all platforms, so whether you play on PC, Mac, Xbox, or PlayStation, this will apply to you and will work for you. I'm also not using any crazy mods or anything like that. Everything I use in this video is going to be base game, and it's going to be talking about it with base game settings, so just be aware of that as well. First off, we need to figure out if a field needs plowing or not. That's kind of our first big thing we got to figure out. So I have a field here. It had corn on it before. You can see down there, bottom right-hand corner, it says needs plowing. That is one way to find out. Now, if you don't have that message, go into your general settings and make sure your field info is turned to on. If you turn this off, you can see it's not there. But if I go in my general settings, turn that on, it's going to be back out there as well. Now, the other way to figure it out is if you go into the main menu, go to the map, go to the soil composition page, and then click on needs plowing. If it's highlighted red like this, it does require plowing currently. So that's one way to tell as well if it needs plowing. And you also can go down in the help menu here if you want to read more about various things such as the plowing and things like that. But if we go to where are we at here? Where are we at? Should be under here. So now that we know it needs plowing, if you didn't want to play a game where you had to plow every so often, you can go into game settings and you can go to periodic plowing and you can turn that off if you would like to. I'm going to leave it on obviously for the cases of what we're doing here today, but you can turn that off as well. So with that as well, when do you have to plow? How often does it happen? Typically it happens every few harvests with most different types of crops. Some crops you'll need to plow every time, such as we have corn here that was harvested. Every time after you plant corn and harvest it, you'll need to plow the field. And every time after you do like potatoes or some root crops like that, you'll have to plow the field. So that's kind of in general when you need to plow. But since we do need to plow, we need to do something to get rid of that plowed state. Now, obviously, if we go into the store here and we go up to, where are we at? Let's go up to field prep up here. Yep, soil cultivation. Obviously, a plow, any one of these will take care of that plowing state and get rid of it for you. That's perfectly fine. Now, make sure, the big thing with plows is make sure you have enough horsepower. This little one requires 85, but the big one requires 360, 300, 210, 160. So they are fairly horsepower intensive. And then you also can see the working width and how fast they're going to plow in a field for you. The other pieces of equipment that will also get rid of that plowing state are subsoilers and spaders. So subsoilers, there's various ones in here. Again, also very horsepower intensive. You can see the working width and working speed down there. And then spaders, there's only one actually in the game at this time. So just be aware of that. Now, if you are using any of these plows, also be aware that as you are plowing, field stones will begin coming up. So just be aware of that if you have field stone turned on. If you don't want to deal with field stones, you can come down here and you can turn field stones to off like I have. We're not going to have to deal with them today, but if you have them on, they will start appearing in your fields if you plow them. And then you'll have to deal with those. I'll do a separate video talking about field stone and dealing with those, so don't worry about that. But let's go ahead and move on back to our plowing. The only main difference between using a plow, a subsoiler, or a mulcher, which is the three things I have out here, is that a plow also has, if you look in the upper left-hand corner, it says allow create fields. And if you also don't have that up in your upper left-hand corner, you can hit F1 on PC to activate that. But if you're on console, because you may want to see the console controls, I'm playing on PC, so I can't show you console controls. But if you go into your main menu and you go under general settings, turn your help window back to on for console if you want to be able to see your settings to be able to run that. So just be aware of that. I'm going to go ahead and hit X to, I got to start the engine, hit X to unfold this guy right here. I'm also going to unfold this guy over here, the subsoiler, and then this guy I don't have to worry about unfolding, but I'll fire the engine up over there anyways. So once it's unfolded, all you have to do is move out to the field and hit V to lower it down, and then you will start plowing. If you have allow create fields turned on, as I had gone over the area that was not a field, it'll add a field there just like that. And I have a different video talking about how to create fields. But there you go. You'll see we are plowing the field. The reason I don't really like to use plows is because they're kind of an odd shape, so they're kind of difficult to use. Again, they will get rid of that plowing state. You can see it's all taken care of here, but I prefer to use something with more kind of a squared features to it, if you will here. But if they come up here, all we have to do is hit V to lower this down. This one will not allow you to create fields. You can see there's no option for that up in the upper left-hand corner. And it gets you a different field state, but as I go across here, if I look in the menu, it no longer requires plowing. So it does deal with it pretty effectively there. Now, if I go over to the spader, all you got to do is come up to the field here and hit V to lower the spader down. And the spader actually has to be turned on because if you look down there, it actually has, well, it might be difficult to see here. If I lift it up again, you can see it actually has a powered mechanism that is digging up the soil. So then if I lower that down and I start going over the soil, it is going to start spading and dealing with that. So there you go. And again, a different texture from the other two as well. So you can kind of tell what's going on and what you're doing, but you can see it's getting rid of that plowing required state there as well. So there you guys go. If you guys wanted to know how to plow and get rid of that plowed state, if you don't get rid of it, by the way, it's a 15, I think it's a 15 or 20% yield deficit, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see, we'd have to plant something in here to figure that out, but it should be a 15 or 20% yield deficit. Can't remember the top of my head, but it is going to affect your yield if you don't plow, so just be aware of that. It's not a yield bonus to plow, but it's a yield deficit to not, so just be aware of that. But there you guys go. If you guys enjoyed this video, please drop a like down below. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button up on the screen to join the Farmer Cop channel, and turn your notification bell so you don't miss any future videos I may post. This has been Farmer Cop. Thank you guys for coming and for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.